All right, episode 30 of Tailgate Update.
Maybe
I
milestone.
thought we'd make it this far. 30 flipping episodes, and I feel like I've been a part of like 4 of them.
And it's been about 12 years.
And been gone a lot. But
yeah.
we are back in action, and we're gonna crack open a little seltzer 4-pack today. So, all right, first up, we got NFL. Kind of the biggest impending news is what was going to happen in Chicago, first round draft pick or first round overall pick, or keep Justin Fields. Well, we have our answer now. Justin Fields traded the Pittsburgh Steelers for a conditional 2025 6th round that could turn into a 4th round if he plays 51% of their snaps next year.
Which he probably, unless something really weird happens, won't.
Seems like an odd condition.
So it's kind of like what happened with it's kind of what the Packers did with the Jets with Rodgers. So it was supposed to be a second round pick, and then it would have turned into a first round pick if Rodgers had played 51% of their snaps, which he didn't play 51% of the snaps on the first drive of the season. So
this is something that they do whenever there's an older player. They're playing the odds about if they're gonna get injured or not. But not to Justin Fields. I actually really like him, but I mean, unless Russ does a repeat of Denver the first year, he's probably gonna have the edge considering his status, age, those things.
The tough thing too is the Steelers need to make a decision, I think, by May 5th on if they're going to pick up Justin's 5th-year option or not, which is like a $25 million guarantee for the year. So I don't really know. I'd imagine that if things aren't going great in Pittsburgh, they'll probably turn to Justin, but
yeah,
probably isn't going to be until they make sure they're underneath that 51%.
Yeah,
to ensure that they keep a 4th round pick.
I would think, like, ideally, their vision would be that they're probably trying to have him be the franchise of the future because he is not that old. And so they're probably hoping that he can, like, learn under Russ while he's, like, the veteran QB, like, how it's supposed to be in theory.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I mean, he still, like, could be the quarterback of their future easily. So, but I don't think that they necessarily got him to, like, play him right now. That's just my feeling, because why would you? I mean, other than they got Russ almost for free, but and maybe they weren't anticipate Pickett actually leaving, so maybe this is, like, not something they've thought through that much. But
they got two guys for, like,
nothing.
Like you said, virtually nothing. I mean, just pennies on the dollar for the two of them. So they got a pretty good situation for not necessarily having a set quarterback of the future. I mean, you could say Justin could be because he's young, but he's not under contract past this year if they don't want him to be. So
yeah, it's truly incredible how they're navigating this situation, and how much they're getting for how much bang they're getting for their buck is ridiculous. And it's not like Russ isn't getting paid a decent amount. They just don't have to do it.
Right. They aren't the ones doing it. I gotta say,
they're like, thanks, Broncos. You just afforded us our quarterback for the year, like crazy.
Yeah. Well, Ryan Poles needs to stop trading with Pittsburgh because I feel like he gets fleeced every time he does. I don't know if you remember 2 years ago trading for Chase Claypool for a 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
Which would have been almost a 1st round pick. I think it was like pick 33 of the draft.
So how do you feel about Justin leaving?
My heart is crushed. You know, I love watching Justin. I love just, it seems like a genuine kid. The locker room, I don't know if you guys probably didn't, but like all the Chicago players, like you could just tell they're crushed on over X, just all their tweets and stuff. And there's probably a little bit of disgruntledness in the locker room because they've been saying for the past year that Justin's their guy. But I think that once Caleb goes in there, If he just humbles himself, works hard, and kind of cuts the Hollywood shit, and just lets his play do the talking for him, then I think that the guys are going to end up liking him a lot. I think that Caleb has the potential to be very good. I do wonder about his mental toughness, but we'll see. Got to swing the stick. And I seen something about supposedly a GM said something to the effect of, you can win a Super Bowl with Justin, but you can win multiple Super Bowls because of Caleb Williams. I'm like, okay, well, there's a difference there. We are trying to do.
It's a big risk, and I imagine if
It
it was
is.
my team, having to deal with two rookies, like taking the chance on two rookies this close together would be a lot. Like, just emotionally, it would be a lot to be like, okay, we're gonna get excited. Oh, they threw away the last one. Okay, now we're gonna bring in a new one. Like, that's just as much of a question mark.
Yeah, they did Justin no favors. I mean, getting drafted by a lame duck coach and GM, and then bringing in this, new regime. They completely stripped the team down. I mean, this is going to be the first off season where we aren't paying, Danny Trevathan, who hasn't played in Chicago since like 2020. This is the first year we're not paying him. Like, we had so much dead money on the books. And we were so old when Poles took over. So just really sucks for him. I'm glad he landed in Pittsburgh, because I think that they do things the right way for the most part. And Mike Tomlin seems like he's a huge fan of him. So we'll see what happens. But
I'm
to watch him
loving
go.
that. Like, I'm now a Pittsburgh fan, which I wasn't anticipating ever to say in my entire life. But Mike Tomlin's amazing. So, like, fingers crossed, because both of our quarterbacks got done pretty fucking dirty by the last coach that they were under. So, like, hopefully we have some, morality, a boost of like culture versus like what they've been dealing with, because they both deserve it. I feel like just like common decency would be great. So, like, yeah, I'm excited to see what Tomlin does.
And another small anecdote that I think kind of it's got to be true to an extent, because Schefter and Ian Rappaport, all them guys reported on it, is that the Bears had multiple offers from teams. Justin didn't want to go to those teams. He wanted to go to Pittsburgh. So that they made that happen for less compensation. How much less? I don't know. It could have been they got a sixth instead of a fifth, or you know what I mean. I doubt it was like the Falcons were willing to offer a first round or second or third.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything that you're not going to pass that up. But just a small detail of Poles taking care of a guy that he's getting rid of, trying to do right by him. I think that'll go a long way.
I feel like him and Russ of yesteryear have a sort of similar look. I mean, because Russ used to be able to run. Now he's like 34, and those wheels don't turn the same. But I feel like when he was Justin's age, they have similarities in play that could be helpful. Like when they're yeah.
Russ can be like, hey, like, did a lot of off script stuff back in my younger days. Like, this is how I've translated my game into now.
Yeah.
More pocket oriented, learning pre and post snap defenses.
Well. But he can probably give him some
did for a little bit. Even last year, like, he didn't have a fantastic year, but it's still like top 12, I think, in most statistical categories. So it's just I don't know.
I feel like it would be hard to give up the way you've been playing the entire time just because of your age. Now, Justin has the advantage of being like a tree trunk, and like Russ is like my height. So like that is helpful. They're not the same, but I feel like they can have similar offenses possibly. I know that Russ is trying to do more, but I know he also can rush from time to time, especially this last year. He was more active, so they might be able to translate that rather easily depending on like who's up at that time. But yeah, and then I definitely think Russ can give him tips for like what. Okay, you're still young enough to run. This is how I did it back in the day. Yeah.
I hope Justin does well out there. Hope he sticks. Hopefully he doesn't take Russ's job too quick, but also hopefully he plays more than 51% of the snaps so that Bears can get a 4th round draft pick.
Yeah, well, Russ is 34, so his time is limited, but Yeah, I'm excited. We're both going to be keeping more of an eye on the Steelers than we ever thought
For
we
sure.
would. So that's
For
a
sure.
weird place to be in.
So go Mike Tomlin.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of another Mike, wide receiver Mike Williams was recently cut by the Chargers, obviously as a cap casualty because he didn't want to take a pay cut. So he is headed to the Jets
Where
for
he
a
took a
1-year
pay
deal,
cut. No, I'm just kidding.
up to $15 million, I think. Good fit for Rodgers and the gang. I mean, him and Garrett Wilson, right? The receiver.
Yeah.
Should
Plus,
be okay, right?
they got Brees Hall in the backfield too. So
Brees Hall. I mean, see if Mike can stay healthy. That's been his biggest issue.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, he's coming off a torn ACL. So and he says he's going to be ready by week 1. So
well,
he tore that thing pretty late in the season too.
I was gonna say. I mean, I felt like it was at least probably week 10, 11 when that happened.
Yeah, he says he's going to be back by the beginning of the season. So
well, sports science. Another Chargers receiver, instead of being cut, was traded to Chicago. So Bears got DJ Moore and Keenan Allen.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite the 1-2 punch now. If Keenan provided he can stay healthy. Only cost the Bears a 4th-round pick, which I thought was kind of wild, even though he's only got 1 year left on his deal. So Bears will have to extend him or something. But Chase Young, you guys remember like when he came out of Ohio State, just what a freak he was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's like, what
well,
happened?
okay, Caleb, we don't know how he is. Like we were discussing this in the chat before. He like kind of waffled. Washington was just a really horrible place to send him. And then he goes to San Francisco where there's only 2 names that anybody ever knows, which is Warner and Bosa. So everybody else gets swallowed up. And so like there's still so much potential there in a guy who's not that old. And so like I don't think we have enough information to assign him anything. But I will say he has definitely sort of went to the background since
I watched him in a couple of those playoff games, and man, he was just like, you want to talk about taking plays off. Holy smokes. That guy's out there on a Sunday stroll while there's a play run right by him. Just not a good look. I definitely like, and obviously I'm biased too, but I think that the Bears definitely got the better edge rusher out of Washington. But he does go to New Orleans. He'll learn next to Cam Jordan. Maybe Cam can get a little more out of him. And
if anyone can, it'll be it'll be the Saints, okay? Because they don't play on their defense.
$13 million guaranteed. Expected to miss part of their training camp, having a neck procedure apparently. So obviously they must not be too worried about it if they gave him $13 million for 1 year.
It's fully guaranteed, yeah.
Yeah, so that's whatever. I thought that the biggest news that like just kind of threw me through a loop, other than I saw Justin Fields getting traded. I knew that was going to happen at some point. It sucked when it happened, but Jerry Jeudy being traded to the Browns, and then for a 5th and a 6th, I believe. And then the Browns turn around and give him a 3-year, $58 million. 41 of it is guaranteed. What the shit?
They're also paying Deshaun. And they're also paying Amari Cooper.
They believe in him, and I appreciate the vote of confidence, but
that's bad.
As a Broncos fan of the last 2 years and not anymore going forward, but like there are some questionable things that Jerry Jeudy did, and his off the field skirmishes with that one guy was pretty funny. But
Steve Smith is like every receiver's biggest fan ever. So
no, I don't think it was Steve Smith. It was it Steve Smith who said like he said ninja on national TV, remember? And the other guy was like, what?
Yeah. It was Steve Smith.
He came for him. He came for him. I was like, oh my God. The other guy was like, can you elaborate? No, he can't. He can't elaborate.
Yeah, it was that Thursday night game against Indianapolis.
Yes. Like
pregame, right?
Like was
drug
that?
his ass through the dirt, like
It was the
coming
pregame,
for this
right?
kid.
No, it was a post game.
Post game.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
post game.
That
Jerry
was-
like
Oh,
Jerry
I
had
thought
a
it was
ball where he could have
pregame.
caught it. No, I think it was post game. He had a ball where he could have caught it, and he like gave up on it or something.
No, it was I'm pretty sure it was pregame, and then he like screwed up that week, which made it worse.
Oh
He
yeah,
like
that
got
could be
called
true.
out, and then he was supposed to have, like, he could have shown out with that game, like, oh, I'm gonna prove to him that I'm not, this terrible person. But yeah, but then he did really, really awful, which I think just made the whole thing worse.
And then he had like
Yeah.
one really good game, and he was like, "Oh, I'm him. Steve Smith needs to shut his mouth." Yeah, dude, you stop.
Yeah.
He's been on a roll on Twitter recently too. Ever since he got paid, I'm like, dude, it ain't about how much money you're making.
There could be room for potential, and Caleb, we all grew up at different
Yes, we do.
we all have different paths and different timelines.
You're
And
right.
if I had to have my young 20s blasted all over social media with millions of people watching, it probably would not be great, because it wasn't great with but like it's all a learning curve. And so like
That is fair. Fair
so
statement.
like along with Caleb Williams, there's room for personal improvement. Neither of them have their frontal cortex fully developed at this point, so we can give them a sec. But no, I think she's crazy and for talking all that, and their confidence is confusing, and I feel like this is yet another time when them dishing out huge quantities of money is questionable.
Hey, you know what? Give them credit. They're definitely swinging for the fences. They're trying to make this thing work, trying to get some weapons out there alongside Amari Cooper, who I think is an absolute beast. But I'm not sure that was the guy. Were Jerry Jeudy and Amari Cooper ever teammates at Alabama?
No,
Or
I don't
Judy
believe so.
was well after, right?
Yeah.
Jerry came the year after Amari left, I think.
Okay.
Because Jerry was drafted in 2019 or 2020 or something like that.
See here, Bills cut Tre'Davious White. He is now met with the Rams and Raiders. Ryan, that's good news for you.
Yeah, great news.
Planning to meet with Giants and Titans by the end of the week. I tell you what, if the Titans sign him, I don't get the draws of the Tennessee Titans, but there's some players that are going there, and it's just really weird to me.
Listen, if they sign Trey White over giving Henry his money, they're stupid.
Nah,
Like they let Derek walk for nothing. Like they just let him walk.
they should have traded Derrick Henry last year. Is what they should have done.
No kidding. Should have traded him 2 years ago.
Letting him walk, I would have let him walk too this year, just because you're not going to pay that when you're nowhere near competing. That's a move for like the Baltimore Ravens to make when they're like right there and they just need a guy that can just go get some freaking yards, man. But
And they need a quarterback that's not going to choke in big moments too. Lamar should have stepped up when he could, and he didn't.
To be fair, 90% of the league needs that too. Not 90%, but probably 3/4 of the league needs that as well.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, that's getting running backs not the only thing that's keeping them back from getting over that hump. Lamar needs to
them letting
find that.
Patrick Queen walk.
Yeah, and Lamar needs to find that area.
Brian, we don't have time for this because then I'm gonna feel some type of way. So keep Lamar's name out your mouth.
I will keep Lamar's name out my mouth. He needs to step up. He needs to find his groove. He needs to find that area where he's going to step up in big moments.
Wow, that's an ice cold take if I've ever heard.
He chokes. Does he not, Caleb?
I don't know what happened, man. I really don't. This was the year I definitely thought, like, man, the Ravens are just going to run through the freaking AFC.
I thought this was his year.
They just didn't.
I was ready to give him his flowers and everything. He joked.
I know. I had to backtrack so many statements I made about him like 2 years ago because I'm like, oh.
I'm just saying.
I think he's a good dude. Like he's an easy guy to root for. He just needs to do it. That's all. Just needs to do it.
He's got to find the extra gear in my mind.
But you know what? as long as Pat Mahomes is sitting in the AFC,
Oh God.
a lot of quarterbacks are going to look like chokers. It's unfortunate.
Oh
Okay.
God.
Everybody's
as
a choker when it's against Mahomes.
Ryan, Julie, one of you is going to have to fill me in on this one. I did not know anything about this. The San Francisco 49ers forfeit 2025 draft choice plus lose 4 spots in their selection this year as a result of administrative payroll accounting errors that probably weren't errors. It was probably malicious.
Okay.
But,
Let me try to clarify this for you.
all right.
So they forfeited the 2025 draft choice and were penalized for. It's just a 2025 draft choice. That's all it says. They were also penalized 4 spots for a selection in this year's draft as a result of the payroll accounting errors. They give up their original 5th round pick in the 2025 draft, and their 2024 4th round selection moves from 131 to 135. So,
okay.
I mean, losing a 5th round draft pick can be tricky, but losing 4 spots in this draft isn't a big deal. So how does that work? Did everybody just get shifted to the left, huh?
I guess good
news for those teams.
Those teams move this way and the Niners move this way.
It's a developing story. We'll let you know when we do.
According to a statement from the NFL, a league review discovered the payroll accounting errors at the end of the 2022 league year that resulted in a misreporting of the team's cumulative player compensation. So, yeah.
That's why you do your taxes.
After the penalties,
honestly,
the Niners.
You think they could pay somebody who would be capable of doing this? They have a few extra dollars lying around.
So after the penalties, the Niners still have 10 total draft picks in the upcoming draft, including 3 in the 4th round.
I'm curious as to how far off do you have to be before there is action taken against your team?
Oh, yeah, it's got to be pretty bad.
Give a grace of probably a few percent of your total payroll.
Maybe, right? Yeah, I guess.
Well, we would know that if Ryan had done his homework, but
that's all I gave me.
The world may never know.
It's ongoing. It's ongoing.
It's ongoing. Yes.
All I know is they're losing spots and 8 pick, but they still have 10 picks in the upcoming draft. So 10 picks they'll probably hit on and then let go in 3 years.
Yeah, probably. Real blow to the system they got going.
Like they always do.
Keep it rolling. Those keep it rolling. More errors by NFL teams. NFL is probing an investigation into the Falcons and Eagles for potential tampering violations during the early free agency period. I believe this has to do with Chicago's former Darnell Mooney for the Falcons, which is funny because it was Ryan Pace, who used to be the Bears GM, who drafted Darnell Mooney originally, and now they signed him.
Actually, no.
There was probably some communication. No? Am I wrong?
No. It has to do with
down.
It has to do with Cousins and Barkley.
Shit.
Yeah.
My B.
Yeah.
Bad, Mooney.
Okay, so
hand up.
The NFL is reviewing whether or not Falcons and Eagles violated tampering policies during the legal tampering window. Falcons agreed to contract with Kirk Cousins shortly after teams were permitted to start negotiating with unrestricted free agents. Eagles also did the same thing with Barkley soon after negotiation period opened at noon Eastern time.
Were you going to be naive and think that these teams aren't talking to these players the second that the Super Bowl ends?
So, Penn State football coach James Franklin told a reporter that Eagles general manager Howie Roseman spoke to Barkley and pitched him on the connection between the Eagles and Nittany Lions fan base. Barkley then said at his news conference that misinterpreted the situation.
Oh, man.
The truth was the sales pitch of how many Penn State fans are Philadelphia Eagles fans. That was through my agent, he said. My agent told me that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Sure thing, buddy. Teams are permitted to talk directly with agents during the 52-hour negotiating window, but can't speak to a player unless he has no agent and represents himself. So Lamar would be the only one they can talk to my knowledge, right?
Roquan Smith. There's a couple guys out there. Not a lot do it though. Bobby Wagner represented himself.
The Falcons said, due to the NFL's review, we are unable to provide information or have additional comment. Eagles have denied the claims. In Atlanta's case, Cousins said this was last week that this came out. But there's a great people here, and it's not just the football team. I mean, I'm looking at the support staff, calling our head athletic trainer, talking to our head of PR. I'm thinking, we got good people here. I don't understand what's that got to do with anything, Kurt. It has nothing to do with anything. He wasn't permitted to speak with anyone with the Falcons before 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday of last week. So Kurt kind of made the situation a little awkward for everybody.
Yeah, he should stick
he just avoided it all.
He should stick to cruising down the aisles of Kmart.
You leave that man alone.
Imagine being a multi-millionaire and just walking into a Kmart. Like, you just buy up the whole damn store right there.
Okay.
No problem.
No,
what's your point? What's your point?
You've seen his wife though. Like, I've seen interviews of his wife talking about it, and she says like they're actually pretty frugal despite all of the money that they spend. Like, that is no joke, you know. And they got a lot of kids, I think, but you know, they're acting like they still middle class, you know, like
they
lower
coupon
middle.
Shop. Yeah, it's funny because every contract's like guaranteed for Kirk in his entire career.
Yeah,
they must have a nest egg like bigger than.
You think?
Yeah, because like he shops at TJ Maxx when he's really when he's really doing something.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, his wife definitely, like, she looks like she shops at Kmart too. The kids, you know, so it's like it's easy.
Full disclosure, is nothing wrong with shopping at Kmart.
Absolutely not. I think the obvious thing that makes it different is that Kirk Cousins makes more money than most of us put together, and the fact
Kirk Cousins could buy a Kmart.
Them, it's what stands out, not the fact that there's nothing wrong with it. It's just he could buy Ralph Lauren's like every damn day of the week and still like have millions, so that's why.
Listen, you know how rich people stay rich? They get free shit.
How would you even know how rich people do anything, Ryan?
Have you not seen people like Gabriel Iglesias get free shit?
Everybody approaches it differently. I don't think you have to wear Kmart, but if that's their style, then that's their.
Adam Sandler, prime example. Got all the money in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Still dresses like he's going to freaking Cinnabon.
Cinnabon. Like, you're saying he looks like he works at the mall? Like,
no, I'm saying he looked like he's getting ready to go get something from the mall.
The dude dresses like it's 2002 college basketball with just the enormous shorts, oversized t-shirt. I mean, his shorts go down to his ankles.
Hoodies.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say, for as much judgment as we give women for wearing the same dress twice ever in their entire lives on TV, I can absolutely talk about Kirk Cousins' little polos. Okay?
They're comfortable.
You know what? The funny thing about that, Julie, is nobody's ever made a comment about a female wearing the same outfit twice.
Really?
The only people that make comments about that are other females.
Kale's right. Kind of got you there.
Yeah, it's women. We're the reason why misogyny exists. Cool.
Oh, look at that. Dodging accountability.
Well, it must be really easy from standing up there, Ryan. Looking down on me, telling me how we're doing it wrong. Cool.
He is upstate New York.
I know.
I am. Technically, yeah, I'm up by Canada. I am looking down on you. Technically.
But she's probably, she might be higher elevation than those still, so she might be actually looking down on you.
Maybe. I don't know.
I can't.
Okay. Anyways, let's move on.
We're moving on.
Move on.
NFL teams proposing rule changes to kickoffs. Apparently, they're moving it back again. Maybe. And drop tackles seem to be the two biggest ones. I don't know how y'all feel about the drop tackle thing. I think it's like, okay, at some point you gotta let the defense do something to take somebody down some way. I mean,
how is a
I can't
defender
perfectly run into the front of you, Ryan? I have, if you're off adjacent to my left or right, like I have to do something. I can't just let you run
Well, yeah.
away,
Yeah.
right?
Richard Sherman's a little pissed off about this too.
And nobody knows exactly. They can't exactly give the proper language on the drop tackle.
And Richard
tackle.
Sherman is dealing with a second DUI because they didn't protect his noggin good enough when he was in the league. So I don't really need to hear his perspective on this. Look, well,
it's a drop tackle. I mean,
I do, but the thing is like the tackles we used to have, way worse. The possible injuries resulting from the drop tackle, so much less relevant than like what we're avoiding.
Well, it's just it's not malicious at all. I mean, and like I said, like you can't just let these cats run right by you.
You have to do something, and they're trying to not have you sipping through a straw at 30. So like, that's pretty much what you got left.
Well, maybe that should be on certain players, like surveys at the end of the year. Like, would you rather eat through a straw at the age of 30? Or
no, you cannot ask people who are making millions of dollars who are young, because everybody who's young never thinks about what's going to happen down the road. I'm not thinking about the fact that, well, I am right now, that I'm going to need knee replacements at like 55 because genetics. Like, but that doesn't mean that I'm like not gonna, I don't know, like walk the stairs or something. Like nobody thinks about like, oh, this is going to be really awful when it could happen. They're only going to worry about it once it does. So that I don't care about that at all. We have to protect people from themselves. That's why we have spotters, concussion protocols, because if they could do it themselves, we wouldn't need all those things. So like, I'm not concerned about that at all, but I don't think like we do have to allow them to do something. And so like, I'm obviously not a fan of trying to eliminate one more thing that they can do. That is
they just continue to handcuff defenses now in the NFL.
Yeah, like what do they think that they can do instead?
I don't know. So the argument Sherman had was, what are we supposed to do? You know, as a defensive forward, just defensive back, what is he being asked to do for a tackle? As soon as somebody gets by him, what's going to happen?
Yeah,
he's supposed to hold for dear life.
He's supposed to turn around, run after him, and try to tackle him from behind.
Now, if you give him the good old German suplex, it's a penalty, unnecessary roughness.
And look, life's tough enough as a DB. You get freaking Derrick Henry out on the edge running free. I'm not getting in the way of that train. You freaking kidding me? So it's tough enough at open space and what these guys can and can't do. It's just.
So while we're on the topic here, Caleb,
neutering the game right in front of our eyes.
Yeah. While we're on the topic here,
maybe players can't play as long because their knees can't last through all the drop tackles. Before they would protect the rest of their bodies and everything would go to their heads, and then they all, get CTE at 40. Now that we know the long-term risks, we can't just give it to conditions that'll go unnoticed. Now it's very obvious when somebody gets an injury from a drop tackle. But like, maybe you just don't get to play as long as you wish you could, because something has to be sacrificed when you're playing a game like this.
Yeah,
I hear you. It's too violent to not.
Something will go. And I know a knee looks a lot worse than a really bad concussion, but overall, it's actually not too bad. So, like, okay, so
in the long run,
you handle so many injuries. All right, then you got to hang up the cleats. I mean, what? Either you play flag football, you get dementia at 30, or you have to take a couple of knee blows, okay? Like,
yeah. So NFL officials are actually backing the proposed hip drop tackle ban.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are.
Yeah,
it's going to get banned. I mean, there's no around, because quote unquote safety that we care about. But
even though we're having Thursday night games, I mean,
that's probably the bigger issue.
Yeah, so Troy Vincent, who is the executive vice president of football operations, as gatekeepers of the game, this is something that we have to remove. Are you kidding me, Troy?
Not even a
Don't
little bit.
fuck right off of that. NFL officials responded Thursday to protests over a proposal to outlaw a version of the hip drop tackle technique. The league says has resulted in an injury rate that is up to 25 times higher than on tackles when it is not employed. Are they serious right now? We still have
When do
turf
they
field.
start tracking these? Because I feel like this tackle's been happening for like ever.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
we have turf fields still that are causing injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But a hip drop tackle that might cause an injury, once every 4 weeks, once every 5 weeks, maybe. Let's ban it. Let's ban the tackle.
The hypocrisy of the NFL safety system is once again shining brightly.
Love it.
Yeah.
You know why they're doing this one? Because it's gonna cost them zero money. As a fact, they're gonna make money off of it because they're gonna find the shit out of everybody that tries to employ this tackle.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that.
It's gonna be even worse. The fans are gonna be even angrier. Like, of course, and we should be for good reason. And it's gonna be anarchy, but they're gonna be thrilled.
Yeah. So this rule change article came out last week. We were going to do it, but we kind of nixed it because we had a lot of stuff to talk about. Some proposals that happened. The Detroit Lions submitted a rule change that would allow coaches to get a third challenge if one of their first 2 challenges is successful, rather than if both are. The Buffalo Bills want the NFL to allow practice squad quarterbacks to be eligible to serve as the emergency third quarterback on game days.
Should 100% be.
Current rule requires that the third quarterback be part of the 53-man roster. I like this. This should happen. I like that.
I like that rule a lot.
I have an emergency quarterback. We saw the Niners in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago. Josh Dobbs was hurt. Purdy was hurt. They were down to Christian McCaffrey playing Wildcat,
Yeah. I'm indifferent about the challenge one too. Like, sure, take a third one.
Yeah, I don't hate that one either.
So let's go. Right. Let's go back over that. I just want to read it again. Submitted a rule change that would allow coaches to get a third challenge if one of their first. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, if you get your first one at all, you're doing great.
Yeah, if you get your first challenge right, you should get a next challenge.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Pittsburgh Steelers proposed moving the trade deadline back 1 week to after week 9 games. In a separate proposal, 6 other teams suggested moving it back until week 10. What do you guys think?
I agree with that because I think that, what is it, week 8 right now? I mean, in a 17-game season,
it should go back a week
through yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just not sure where you can. I mean, there's probably a lot of teams that have won 5 games in the first 8 weeks that ended up missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the harm in it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have real issues. Like, we have real problems right now. Like, with what's going on with the turf, the grass, the drop hip tackle. I don't give a fuck about these. This is like, like little stuff, like arbitrary. It could go either way. And would probably be helpful. And if it would backfire, it would barely backfire because it doesn't do much.
Yeah, moving the trade deadline back a week isn't that bad. I mean, like Caleb said, teams that win 5 games in 8 weeks, they're not going to say, "Oh, we need to make trades now."
Right. Prevent a team from selling too quick or buying too quick.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Sure.
The Jaguars
basically be the rules committee is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We pretty much got this one down.
Oh yeah, we're killing right now.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars would like the NFL to make available the raw Hawkeye replay feed in the coach's booth rather than only in the replay booth.
Is this just like for transparency's sake, or is there any context?
I have no idea.
Are they going to
throw? They just want it.
Don't they have a limited opportunity to throw the challenge flag? Like, it's not like you can run to your booth and be like, "Oh."
Okay, yeah. So in order to throw a challenge flag, you have to throw it before the next play happens.
Next snap, yeah.
That's why if a lot of teams are unsure, they'll burn a timeout, which might come back to haunt them.
True.
But
Yeah.
um,
I know.
yeah.
That
Oh,
one, sure. Why not?
sometimes-
We'll cover
sometimes
this
if-
one next year. We're gonna put this one on the ministry
I'm-
back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sometimes teams will call a timeout like with under 2 minutes to go and a half. So if play stops, they'll probably look at if it's questionable, but it's not always
trying
gonna be.
to get the booth to look at it.
Yeah, I think that should be a thing. There should be like a third challenge that you can only use like if you call a timeout inside 2 minutes of each half. Because the Rams were screwed last year against Pittsburgh on a 4th down play, and they didn't have any timeouts left. So
was it inside 2 minutes?
Yes.
So the league.
No. Sorry. Yeah, they didn't look at it.
Yeah.
So, Eagles hope to see game clocks display tenths of a second in the final minute of each half.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'll see why not.
It's
Because
very
some teams
specific, but
some teams get that delay of game, get away with a delay of game, or they get that delay of game because I don't mind it. It's not
The
bad.
Packers get away with delay games like every game, man. It's crazy. That thing will sit at 0 for like 3 seconds and it'll snap.
Oh my god, yes.
Drives me nuts.
Let's see here. There's another one. They're talking about the kickoff. Want to do a kickoff rule change. Philadelphia Eagles. They've championed an onside kick alternative that would permit a team to maintain possession after a score if it converts a 4th and 20 offensive play from its own 20-yard line.
Okay, that's a lot of word salad for me, but what I do know is that what's going on for the offside kick right now is not working because it barely happened. I mean, to the point where it was like 3 out of like 30. I don't know. It was crazy.
It was in 2023 teams recovered only 2 of 41 onside kick attempts.
Yeah, fuck that. That doesn't work. That's not even. You can't make it so hard that nobody can do it. So they need to do something.
It used to be more
solution
successful,
isn't that
but then
word
they
salad.
stopped allowing you to stack one side of the kickoff formation. So
Yeah,
once they made you go more even up, it's almost impossible now.
Yeah, unless you get that right kick where it bounces up and hits off somebody first. But
And that's not the probability you should have to have.
and it has to go 10 yards. I mean,
yeah,
maybe 5.
It has to be like perfect to happen. Your best chance is honestly to surprise onside kick somebody in the middle of the game.
Pat McAfee, yeah. Speaking of Pat McAfee, Indianapolis Colts proposed allowing coaches to challenge any foul that has been called on the field, in addition to the existing menu of plays that they are eligible to challenge. NFL has traditionally stayed away from challenging subjective decisions, and there has been only one season in history. Yeah, it sucked. 2019, when the pass interference was added to the list, and it was awful. They would still get it wrong. So there's that, and then I got another one.
Even longer.
Yeah.
Like it already takes a long time.
Baseball had that thing where people were bitching and moaning about the game taking too long, so they implemented the pitch clock. Football is gonna take like 7 hours to play a game. You keep adding all these challenges and shit.
Yeah, like everybody's got to weigh in. Wait, do you need a poll of the audience too from both sides? Like,
do you want us to challenge this play? Make some noise.
Yeah. All right. Seattle, make another earthquake if you want it.
My God. Yeah. So NFL owners are considering the kickoff change. Yeah. I'd like to see a change the kickoff, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The onside kick is just too stupid.
If you're making 30 out of 40 kicks, if you're making maybe even 20 out of 40 kicks, that's maybe not what you want, but there should be like, I don't know, at least 30%, let's say, that work. 25%, maybe more than 2.
So it needs to be attainable.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're making more than just changes to the onside kick. They don't want to do the entire kickoff entirely. Let's see here. The committee proposal would move the majority of the kicking and return teams downfield to minimize high-speed collisions. If approved by at least 24 of 32 owners, the rule would go into effect for 1 year only.
Just get rid of kickoff then at this point. Like, I'm so fucking sick of it.
So the kicker would calm down, Kill. Kicker would continue to kick from the 35-yard line, but the other 10 players would line up at the receiving team's 40. At least 9 members of the return team would line up in a setup zone between the 35 and 30-yard line. Up to 2 returners can line up in a landing area between the goal line and the 20-yard line. No one other than the kicker and returners can move until the ball hits the ground or a player inside the landing zone. Touchbacks would be marked at the 35-yard line and no fair catches would be allowed. In the event a team wants to attempt an onside kick, it would have to inform officials of its intent and would then be allowed to use the NFL's traditional formation. No surprise onside kicks would be allowed. What?
Don't like it. Don't like it. It's just doing too much. You're doing way too much.
Get rid of it. No.
Yeah,
just
I'm
get rid
hearing a lot of word salad BS is what I'm hearing, and it all sounds dumb. So don't fix the thing that needs to get fixed, and then fix the thing that don't need to get fixed.
Amen. Just get rid of the kickoff.
Is the life of pretty much every major sports league.
So stupid.
Idiots, man. I tell you.
I need a diagram with a whiteboard with like a wiki how steps on how that works, Ryan, because I kind of got lost in the sauce about where people have to stand.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Where. Yeah, nobody can move. That's
nobody move but the kicker and the returner.
That's
until the ball is touched.
That sounds like 1,000 more calls because somebody's gonna twitch a little too hard before somebody. Like centimeters before it hit someone, and they thought it already hit them, and they're like, "You moved your eye muscle too fast," and then the coach will have to weigh in too, and we'll be there another 20 years.
So as a return team, how do you know that damn thing has?
Yeah, right.
If you can't move.
There are some people in the online communities were suggesting that the NFL allows for the approval of the CFL rule. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but if you convert a forward pass, pass is completed, the receiver can then kick it as an onside kick and then recover it for a new set of downs.
So it's basically like rugby.
Sort of.
Okay, but American football and rugby are way more connected than they're fairly like brother and sister,
So you're gonna have dudes that instead of the tush push, so instead of the tush push on 4th and 1, you're gonna have dudes on 4th and 35 just catching a pass from the punter and then kicking it for a new set of downs.
Yeah.
No, but I hate that less than what we have right now. But
I don't know. It seems kind of wonky, but at the same time, it'll bring a little more excitement.
Yeah, for sure. And probably more injuries. Oh, because somebody will be running so fast, and they'll be like, "No, the collisions."
That's going to be a B-roll right there.
The hip tackles.
Nobody can move until the receiver catches the pass.
Okay, you need to hear it hit too. You can't just think that it hit. You have to see that shit bounce.
Yep.
So help me God, if you turn your back once, penalty flag galore.
Mm-hmm. We saw that you thought about moving, and we're gonna call that, and we're gonna talk to your about it.
Hey, I saw a Garfield thought bubble, so you get a penalty.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, straight to jail.
Straight to jail. Oh no.
Segment.
Okay, Caleb. Right. I think are we good?
That's it with the NFL. We're gonna move on.
Thank God.
Baseball.
Our second seltzer.
Season's actually already started.
Major League Baseball and all their infinite wisdom. Always let's grow the game. The game we feel like is dying. Grow the game. Whatever. I have an idea. Let's take an international game to freaking where are they at? Japan, South Korea.
South Korea.
Yeah. let's play the opening game of the season at 3 a.m. local time. And then, hey, better yet, we're going to black out California residents from even being able to watch it on TV. I mean, you want to talk
Manfred.
about fucking stupid.
Thank you,
That's gonna be a
Manfred.
huge demographic. I mean, just because it's a huge state.
Just so stupid.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're dumb.
I don't
It's
hate
basic-
the idea because I know, and I barely know this in the sense that a lot of players, at least in the past, have come from Japan. I believe.
yes, they
So
do
I can-
exhibition games. It was a cool thing to do exhibition there the last week or so, but to do and they don't promote it at all. I didn't even know until it was happening. It was like opening day of baseball, March 20th
wrong
at 3
game,
a.m.
wrong time, wrong execution. Don't hate the idea of travel, but that clearly wasn't the right way to go about it.
Yeah, I'm not even considering that opening day. That's not even open day.
No,
Opening day is
that's
gonna be
not.
like March 28th.
That was a waffle.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I just need to get that off my chest. I'm like Rob Manfred continually just. I don't know who the worst league commissioner is. I feel like he's consistently in the conversation as number.
Oh, he's
one.
one. He's number one. Absolutely.
You know,
Goodell's number two.
Oh,
Goodell's up there. Nobody likes Goodell.
Bettman's got to be like 4, but that's like a hard ranking system because they're all terrible.
Yeah, it's a tough job. I'm not.
Is it 2029 yet? Because like I need Manfred to go.
No, it's not.
This freaking guy.
And there's the other thing too. Like he felt the need to announce his retirement 5 years from now. That's nobody cares. I put it in my phone. I have a countdown going.
Do you really?
No, but
You should. Oh, you should
I should.
count down to Manfred's last day.
So
We'll
truly
throw a
moving on to
party.
baseball now. Reigning fraudulent NL Cy Young winner Blake Snell leaves San Diego for San Francisco on a 2-year deal worth $62 million. Opt out after one.
Doesn't make much sense to my opinion, but
He's
why get someone a 2-year deal if you're gonna give him an opt out for one? Just give him a 1-year freaking deal.
Bellinger did the same thing with the Cubs. 3-year deal, one opt out.
I can understand after 3, but like 2-year deal and giving him an opt out after 1 year, just sign him to 1-year deal.
So, well, yeah, and I think that the team at that point is banking on the fact that he's not going to win Cy Young again. Therefore, he's probably going to take his $31 million in year 2 and be happy. But I don't know. Blake Snell is a Scott Boras.
We'll talk about him later.
You cannot walk almost 6 guys per 9 innings and tell me you're a good fucking pitcher.
He strikes out a lot of guys, though.
It's cute. He has to.
He doesn't get up a lot of runs either.
This year he didn't. That's an
No,
aberration. He's not.
he
he's
didn't
not
in
gonna
Tampa though.
He's
He
not
was
gonna
in
be like
Tampa.
that. He's good in Tampa. I liked him in Tampa.
Until his manager decided to pull him after the 3rd time they faced him.
Whatever the hell he did last year, complete lightning in a bottle. No other pitcher gets away with walking 6 per 9. Like that's insane. Those are insane numbers.
And he won Cy Young with that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I thought Darvish was gonna get it, to be honest, but
Steele would have had a chance, but his September was just not good.
yeah, Flaherty was like that a couple years ago. 19 when he had that terrible like first 2 months of the season.
Yeah.
And he went on a tear. Yeah, that's 1 month can really kill a guy. But
Strider, I thought was really good. His ERA is a little high. He strikes a shit ton of guys out though.
dude, it's the mustache. They're all afraid of him.
The mustache, and then talk about a quadzilla. That dude's quads are enormous.
Do not like that stash at all. It looks so irritating.
I think he looks very handsome.
His thighs are freaking huge. My God,
Yeah, they're enormous. I'm like
ginormous, man.
Yeah.
Super jelly. Shut up.
God. Frustration grows for players as leaders ask for removal of MLBPA's Bruce Meyer. Scott Boras comes to his aid, defending himself in MLBPA.
Yeah, hold on real quick. Let me get that article pulled up.
Yeah.
So let's start off with the frustration. Okay. Players lead express frustration at Major League Baseball Players Association executives during a video conference call on Monday night. Culmination of a week in which players advocated for the ouster of the union's chief labor negotiator. Apparently, he's not doing a very good job. On a call with dozens of player representatives from the major and minor league units of the union that lasted nearly 3 hours, a majority of the players in an informal vote told MLBPA Executive Director Tony Clark they wanted to replace Deputy Executive Director Bruce Mayer with Harry Marino, the lawyer who spearheaded the unionization efforts of the minor league players.
Yeah, that might be a good guy to have in there.
Clark does have the ability to hire and fire staff members. He declined to levy a judgment on Mayer's future during the call, according to sources. So, yeah.
I mean, you got to be pretty bad if they're calling for you to be fired as a union head. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Be bad.
Well, he's the negotiator, not the union head. He's the negotiator.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So,
wow.
God. The move by players came amid an offseason that has seen a $1 billion decrease in spending by major league teams in the extended free agency of World Series standout Jordan Montgomery and reigning league NL Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell. Jordan Montgomery's still out there?
Yeah.
No kidding.
So you got to think Snell, Montgomery, Cody Bellinger, and I think Matt Chapman. They were all unsigned like less than a month ago.
Chapman went pretty quick, I feel like.
No, he signed after Bellinger did.
Oh, yeah, Chapman signed in like January, right?
Yeah, Bellinger didn't sign until after spring training started.
Really?
So it's because Boris, man, like nobody wants to work with him.
Seriously. Let's
not a fan of him. I think baseball would be much better off without that kind of person negotiating contracts.
Boris defended himself and the leadership of the MLBPA against a faction pushing to replace the union's lead negotiator, which we just talked about. Oh man, I don't know why he even opened his lips. The players who sought me out want a union that represents the will of the majority, Marino said. Scott Boras is rich because he makes or used to make the richest players in the game richer. Marino added that it was alarming for Boras to be defending Clark and Mayer. Boras, the sport's most high-profile agent, backed the union's leadership. He said, veteran players have not been approached on this. You don't see guys who have been through a couple of collective bargaining agreements or guys who have served on the executive board. None of them are supportive of this. Shut up. That's all I got to say. Scott Boras, shut up.
If Boras is backing the MLPPA like negotiations, then I don't know.
No, so sorry, just hold on here. Look at this. Several of his clients remained on the market well into spring training. Pitcher Jordan Montgomery and designated hitter JD Martinez, who just signed last night with the Mets,
okay, missed that.
Remained without deals as of like last night. Okay.
Hey, Cardinals could use a pitcher. Cubs, Justin Seal just went down today.
I'm surprised Montgomery is not back with the Cardinals, actually.
I'm shocked he hasn't signed at all. I mean, he must be asking for a stupid amount of money.
Nobody wants to work with Boras, man.
I know.
He's
had a horrible offseason. I mean, I can't think of an agent having a worse offseason.
3 of his clients failed to get long-term agreements that had been speculated and accepted shorter deals that allow them to opt out and, again, become free agents. Speaking of which, Snell is his client. Just got $62 million in that 2-year deal with an opt-out after year 1. Matt Chapman got $54 million 3-year deal. Bellinger got $80 in 3 years.
Opt out after 1 year.
Yep.
All same
Or
stuff.
opt out after 2, I think.
I don't think that he's going to have any more luck next year either. I
He's
think
a
the teams are
slime
just
ball,
done with it.
man. He's a wicked slime ball. He
Yeah, he
has
is.
been for years.
I remember I couldn't believe that Chris Bryant was with him. I think that he's ruined Chris Bryant's career.
Well, I think injuries really ruined that. But
well, I mean, they have, but like just his negotiating style, just completely turned teams off.
He's a piece of work. Let's just put it that way.
Man, speaking of pitchers going down, Brewers closer Devin Williams is going to miss 3 months with 2 stress fractures in his back. That is a big blow to a team that has already lost both Corbin Burns and Woodruff.
Oh, I know Burns left. Burns went. He was traded, right?
Yeah, I don't remember where, but so down Burns at least, down Craig Counsell.
Who cares?
They don't have.
Hader's not there anymore.
The Brewers are going to win like 70 games this year.
You say that, but
you'll see.
They just might
I'm
win
telling
more.
you, Craig Counsell manages that team to like 10 to 15 extra wins a year.
Yeah, well,
what's his nuts? The
excuse me. What's his nuts? Really?
Outfielder for him.
Yelich.
Yeah.
What about him?
He's a fraud.
Really? You don't say.
I don't know if we ever talked about this. Isn't it funny that as soon as that Astros cheating thing came out and the Brewers were actually named as one of the teams that were thought to be doing the same thing, as soon as that comes out, Buddy's hitting like 240 and like half power.
He also fractured his kneecap too, so.
When?
2019 or 2018.
Oh my gosh! So what? It's 2024.
Hey man, injuries can linger.
Yeah, you know what else can linger? Not getting to cheat every game.
Oh yeah. You ain't wrong.
Like, do it in Miami. He's always hit for decent average, but never for like.
He's always been all right.
Not for 40-some home runs though.
No.
Which is what he was hit. He hit more home runs in 2 years than he did the past 5.
I think Miami's organization for what they did.
I think they are too. He's no different than Jose Altuve. I'm
a little sore on it because the Cardinals were looking at Ozuna and Yelich. They were kicking the tires on it. And they said, oh, Yelich is not available. So we got Ozuna. Yelich was traded to the Brewers like a week later. Bad news for Williams, but good news for us, I guess.
Yeah. So your good news for the Yankees. Garrett Cole will not need Tommy John surgery, and it's looking at up there for 3 to 4 weeks. Definitely good news for them.
Bad news, he's going to miss like 3 starts.
Yeah.
Because opening day is next week, right?
It is.
Yeah, so he's supposed to be the opening day starter. So he's going to miss the first 5.
I bet he ends up missing 5 starts.
5?
I bet. I mean, I think 4 weeks you pitch every 5 days. That's 28 days.
So you're going to say he's going to miss 20 games?
3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks. It's
that's
teams
about 25 to 28 games, depending on what their schedule looks like. I'm not sure.
Usually the first month of the season they have
more
wonky schedules. Yeah.
Yeah. True. I don't know. If I'm them, I mean, you probably give him as much as he needs. You don't want to bring him back too quick.
Well,
if Tommy John was even in consideration, that's
maybe they can.
Something's wrong.
Maybe they can work a spider attack back into his repertoire, and he'd be all right.
There you go. As long as the doctor writes a prescription for it, they got to let it happen, right?
I don't know. I don't know about those loopholes you just talked about.
That that's it for MLB. Unless anybody has anything else, I'm sure Julie's got.
Julie
a
is
lot.
she is like
Wake up, Julie.
salivating to get into this conversation.
Sorry, we've been pushing you out the combo.
Oh no.
Sorry.
I really wish I could be involved in that baseball conversation, but I was able to be in there if I wanted to be.
Well, it's too bad that.
Oh man, you're missing
It's
out.
over.
Good
So
shit.
you know
Good shit.
already.
Good soup.
I'm so ready for this third seltzer though, because I drank the second one while y'all were talking. So
Yeah, I didn't even drink mine. Moving on, third seltzer.
Yeah.
This is NHL's Gary Bettman says NHL will stay patient during the Arizona arena drama. Ryan, I don't know if you got anything more on that. Or are the Coyotes just forever going to play in a YMCA or what?
that man loves not having to get involved with anything. That's like his favorite thing is to watch everything happen around him and be like, well, I didn't see it. It didn't happen.
He does. Batman. All right, so the Coyotes' success at an upcoming land auction could determine whether they remain in the greater Phoenix area. So if they
I'm going to take this break to say that we are watching a National Geographic moment. Is Lucy going to
Amen.
him on his way back? On his way over? We don't know.
The hell was I saying? So if they don't get this land, it's looking like Phoenix might lose the Coyotes. Earlier this month,
I don't think they deserve them.
No,
the Coyotes don't deserve Phoenix.
They lost their arena first of all to back taxes or some shit like that. And they were playing. They can't even fill out an 8,000 seat stadium. So
I'm sure they have a local skating rink somewhere.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. They'll be playing at the pavilion shortly.
Almost regulation size.
The Arizona State Land Department Board of Appeals unanimously approved a $68.5 million appraisal of a 95-acre parcel of land in North Phoenix that Coyotes owner Alex Morello is expected to bid on as a location for the team's new arena. Meanwhile, Bettman's just going to sit back and watch.
Yeah, that's his favorite.
Let everything unfold. That's his favorite thing to do. Just sit back and be patient. We're going to be very patient on this situation.
It's going to be
he avoids so many scandals by just ignoring all of them.
How does one get that job?
Commissioner of hockey?
Make millions of dollars by just taking no accountability for anything ever.
He just sits back and watch.
Guys who are still in the NFL that are in that fight, the whole scandal with that woman, their alleged SA group session thing, and he's just like, well, they're almost out of the league anyway. They only have their 1-year contracts, so so I can just ignore it after that. See, this is his MO. Like, oh, there's all this controversial, heavy topics that I should be weighing in on. It'll be gone next year.
So, this is their second attempt at getting different land for a new arena. They tried for a deal in Tempe, but was voted down in a 2023 referendum. They've been playing temporarily out of a 5,000-seat venue at Arizona State University since being evicted from their former arena in Glendale.
Are they filling it?
No.
Honesty hour.
Honesty hour, yeah. No.
The NHL could not handle an honesty hour.
So Bettman,
I don't think any league could.
Bettman continued to preach patience on the issue when he spoke Wednesday from the league's annual GM meetings.
Of course he did. Again,
which means he was talking out of his ass.
As long as everybody just calms down, other people will sort the problems that I'm supposed to be helping with.
Yeah.
Again, he's not as bad as Rob Manfred is at this. Did y'all see his comments about the A's or Oakland losing the A's potentially?
No, I did not see his comments because I tried to.
Basically, like, there's already another team in the Bay Area, so fans will be fine. Like,
His problem is he tries to quick problem solve way too much,
His problem is he doesn't like baseball.
and he overcorrects. Well, that's true. He
Well,
does not like
Batman has
baseball.
never done anything too quickly because he doesn't do anything. So
Well,
To him, the commissioner's trophy is just a piece of metal.
usually is.
Sure. Yeah.
Sadly.
I have nothing to say about him, so I won't say anything.
I don't.
So Arizona
If I had to
will
pick my
start playing
poison,
at
he's
a.
probably the guy I'm taking.
They'll find a
Okay.
YMCA, like you said, and then we'll all move on.
Batman sits back and watches. Other people do his job. Hope that everything.
Oh, that's like Brad Aldrich. He likes to sit back and watch too.
Hopes everything clears itself up. Manfred overcorrects and tries to appease everybody.
It sound really dumb.
Yeah,
Goodell just rules with an iron fist.
this is the way it is.
Yeah. Like,
Greater Chimdale
like
man come at you.
that's how the Soviets felt.
You're saying Goodell rules with a hammer and sickle? Are you kidding me right now?
One might say off rules.
That sounds a little.
Until Ryan said the obvious word, we were doing fine. Okay, go ahead.
Any Hoosers. Moving on to. Again,
You don't even freaking know.
Not a freaking favorite thing of mine. This rule change potentially. Men's college basketball.
This is our fourth seltzer, by the way.
This is the fourth and final.
Yep, fourth and final. Yep.
The rumblings are becoming increasingly loud about expanding the tournament from 68, really 64, because if you're in the first four, you didn't actually make the tournament until you make the field of 64, in my opinion. But trying to expand that to at least 80 teams. I don't know if either of you have any sort of feelings towards it. I do, but I will save it.
Keep it the way it is. Keep it the way it is.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no reason.
No
reason to expand.
64 or 80, but it sounds like they're trying too hard. As my very objective position to make them relevant or something. I don't know.
See, different perspectives are important for that reason because she's right.
Yeah, keep it the way it is. There's no reason to expand it.
I mean, it's like probably the most perfect sporting spectacle that there is in terms of just the chaos of it. The finality once it's over is so abrupt. You're watching kids that are going to move on to the league and become stars. You're watching guys that are going to be your local accountant play and just have the absolute game of their life. It's a little bit of everything. There's drama in every game, pretty much.
Yeah, so there's no talk. There's no talk about that. There's no talk about that though in the women's side of things. So it's just the men's they're trying to expand.
Right, and I think that people's feeling, and the women's is going to get there at some point.
Obviously,
it's just they're just trailing a little bit right now. But like with people like Caitlin Clark paving the way here, I mean, the women's tournament has already gotten way more burn on TV than it ever has, which is awesome. But I mean, you're just gonna water down a product, and you're gonna have schools. You already got some schools in there that don't need to be there in the first place, but just caught fire at the right time. I don't know. Just leave it alone, man. Just freaking leave it alone. Okay.
Yeah, it's bad enough we already have FIU in there.
Yeah. Anyway, Yale is about to take down Bruce Pearl and Auburn, so.
You serious?
They're up.
My bracket's already busted anyways, so.
Up one with 45 seconds left.
My bracket's already busted anyways.
Colorado's about to take
Florida down. Because I don't even understand them.
I hope you enjoyed the $10 I gave you.
I'm not going to enjoy it. I've yet to see any of the money that I donate to my own tournament. It's been about 4 years now.
Yeah.
I'm a very small charity, but very generous.
Saving the gamblers one gamble at a time.
Yep.
Get a hold of Shohei, he'll help you.
Yeah, I make Shohei proud.
Yeah, you make light bets.
We'll be discussing that in our true crime segment, which is coming up next. And
That's the end of the 4-pack.
Yeah.
Hey. Just got some breaking news. Tom Wilson's been suspended for 6 games for a high stick to the head of Maple Leafs Noah Gregor on Wednesday. So another dirtbag move.
You want to talk
Wilson.
about freaking dirtbag player as Tom Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Standard.
It's
But-
almost
okay.
like
You
you're
feel like
saying
you got
that you
something
hate someone, Caleb.
No.
I
We're
don't
not
hate
using that
him.
word.
I
No,
didn't say
of
that.
course not. No.
We're not using that word.
No.
But his actions have been very,
Such a
very
strong
terrible.
word. Such a strong word, Gilly. We
No,
don't
I
need that
know.
on here.
It's a questionable term.
We're not saying
Yes. Goodness. Oops. 75, 72 Yale. Oh, Bruce Pearl. See you later, bud.
that. Okay.
Anyway, as I was
I
saying,
do.
it's not exactly breaking news when it was from Wednesday, but as I was saying,
No. It's breaking news that just happened. But the thing
the
on Wednesday.
game was on Wednesday. Yep, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we won't be here next week, like we said before, because several reasons. Mostly Caleb's brain, apparently,
Yeah,
and mine.
brain is tired.
Yes.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So you can like, comment, subscribe. We listen to everything that our fans share with us. Hit us up on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want. Let us know what you're thinking. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Peace
Ooh.
out. What an idiot.
Keep his mouth shut.
He's a douchebag.
He is a grade A douchebag.
You're calling him a communist?
You're just not good. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You don't have it
is-
up here mentally.